Hey, well, welcome back to Cypress Sports Weekly. I'm Jeff Russell. Here, as always, is Mark Slevcove. Today, we'll welcome our head basketball coach, Derek Mitchell, and player Kody Papke. It's been really busy around these parts, a lot of rescheduling of games, a lot of activities and events going on, and we're excited to see everybody out supporting our teams. Let's get a quick update with the winter sports from Coach Slevcove.
Yeah, let's go through them. Boys basketball got the victory last night against Kennedy. It was a fun game, beat them by 10 points, and a pretty special moment at the end when Kennedy brought in a kid off the bench. And not many times a kid scores 2 points and both sides give an ovation for him. So that was pretty fun. Our boys are sitting at 3-1 after the win last night. Lost to Crean Lutheran. We still have a makeup game to go against Tustin, but we start the second round of league on Friday night against Tustin, second round of league, but the first time we played them. Then we'll play Tustin again next week. Girls basketball, they're 4-1 after the first round of league. Beat rival Kennedy last night by 10. We got some quick guards, a lot of guards, and our big center, Maya Collins, really can control the boards out there. Division 3A in CIF, and we're 14th ranked this week in CIF. So hopefully we have a good, solid second round and put ourselves in a good position for the playoffs. Boys soccer, after starting 2-0-1 in league, we lost 2 in a row. We lost to Valencia 3-1 last Friday, and yesterday lost to Kennedy 3-2. But first round of league, 2-2-1. We're in a good position to make the playoffs if we can repeat our first round performance and hopefully improve upon that. Girls soccer, 4-0. In league, we have a makeup game against our rival Pacifica. Big rivalry game for the girls. Pacifica and Cypress sure seem to share the league titles over the last several years. Whoever wins the game Wednesday will have the upper hand for the league title going into the second round of league play starting on Friday. Our girls this year are in Division 2 of CIF, and we're just outside the top 10 in the CIF rankings this week. Girls water polo is 1-0 in league. Beat Tustin last week 20-0 in our first league game, and played in a tournament. Beat Santiago Corona 8-7, which is a Division 1 team. So we had a last-second goal to beat Santiago Corona 8-7. Jasmine Lopez stole the ball from the goalkeeper, threw it in the empty cage for the winning goal, and our returning league MVP, Layla Agusa, continues to dominate out there. And we're starting to make an appearance in the CIF Division 4 poll just outside the top 10. So we're starting to crack that top 10 in a couple sports, getting close. And then wrestling, both our boys and girls are undefeated in league with 1 match to go. That match was supposed to take place this week, but it got postponed to next week. So our boys and girls will be taking on Valencia with league titles on the line on Tuesday of next week.
Yeah, winter halfway over, at least for most of our teams, if not all of them. CIF did make a little adjustment in that schedule, giving us the ability to make up some games and finish the season on a Sunday, which, to my knowledge, Slev, I don't think that's ever happened before. Do you remember that ever coming about since we've been around? Well,
CIF allowed a Sunday competition last season in the spring during COVID. And then coming back from winter break, so many schools across the southern section had delays and shutdowns that they implemented the Sunday rule again to make up competitions. And then this is the first time I remember them extending the CIF deadline for a regular season to end. But hopefully we stabilize some and we can get everything in before that Sunday deadline.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll push maybe some of those wild card games back a little bit. Instead of having a little bit longer break before like the final game, they would just kind of push each game back and kind of have it just play out without an extended break before a final. So, I mean, it's kind of the way it probably should be a lot of the times anyway. So not a big change, but it does allow teams to kind of make up those games and potentially make a difference. So with that in mind, we're getting excited about playoffs. Keep in mind that those gated sports could potentially go go to GoFan for ticket purchases. That's what CIF has been doing. They did it in the fall. They're likely to do it again in the winter. Matter of fact, I'd say they will probably 100% do it again in the winter, which means you got to buy tickets via the app. Present that at the gate when you come in. It's a little bit more of a hassle. No cash transactions at the door. Everything at GoFan. So just be prepared for that as we get ready to enter that playoff time. All right, then. Well, today we welcome our head basketball coach, Derek Mitchell, and player Kody Papke to the program. Thanks for being here today, guys.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Well, Coach Mitchell, as an alumni of Cypress, former player here, how much does it mean for you to now be, after a while, not now be, but it's been a few years, to be the head coach here at Cypress?
Oh, it's been a pleasure. It's something I really thought about coming out of college. You know, what did I want to do? How was I going to stay involved in basketball? And coaching was one thing that could help me get back into it. So I started helping my dad with the girls' side. And then when he retired, you were nice enough to bring me onto the boys' side. And I remember you asking me if I wanted to be an assistant or if I wanted to learn how to run a program. And so I told you I eventually wanted to be a head coach. So you brought me under your wing and you started me off at the freshman level and then the JV level. And then you had me be a varsity assistant and going and scouting and stuff and learning all the little things it does to run a good program.
Yeah, Coach, we got a long history here at Cypress, right? You played for your dad a year when you were in school, and we played Little League together, and I played for your dad in Little League and all that. So long history and goes way back. Coach Russell was my 6th grade coach as well. But how important is the history of basketball here at Cypress, and what kind of mark do you want to leave on the program?
I think it's very important. You know, when I was growing up, Coach Loftus was the head coach, and my dad was the JV coach. And I remember coming to the games then, and I watched players like Jared Rice and Greg Bedford. And then eventually it went to like Bart Bolton, and then it was like my era. And then when I went to college, I kind of like lost that connection a little bit before I came back to help my dad. So it's really important. I love talking to you guys about like who in that section that I wasn't there was who were the top players and stuff. And then I go into the annals or our program, which has all the like highlights and the Hall of Fame people. So really take pride in that. And I like that we continue that on every year.
Yeah, Derek, you were quite the successful player here at Cypress. You probably don't share that all the time with the players. Hopefully Kody and those guys know how good you were. A league MVP in 95, a single season assist leader, a 4-year player at Chapman University. So a lot of success. How do you take those experiences and successes and use them in your coaching now?
I just look back at, because I was undersized. I wasn't the fastest guy, but it was all about hard work and paying attention to the details of little things. So the tricks that I learned from my coaches, you know, how to be quicker on slanting towards a certain angle on defense and just like that. I try to imply that in our practices so that our kids can benefit from that.
Well, it's paid off. You're doing a great job. You were recognized a couple of years ago by the Register as the County Coach of the Year in 2019, Kiwanis Coach of the Year in 2019, North All-Star Coach, 4-time league champ as a coach. What goals do you set for yourself in terms of coaching each year?
Just to make sure that our teams play hard. I know watching Coach Russell, his teams always play hard. And when we walk through the lines and shaking hands, I always notice that every coach would say, man, your team plays really, really hard. And I always respected that because that's how I had to play growing up. So as far as goals, you know, winning league is always one of them. But for me personally, I want to bring Cypress their first basketball CIF championship because the boys don't have one yet.
Well, that would be awesome, Coach. We would love to see that. And hopefully, Kody, you're going to be maybe a part of that. You know, you've been a player here now on the varsity team. You carry above a 4.0 GPA as an athlete. I mean, just that in itself is such a tremendous accomplishment. Super impressive. How important, given, you know, the classes you take and how hard it is, how important is time management for a successful student athlete?
Time management is super important. A lot of kids spend crazy amounts of time on their phone these days or on Netflix or whatever. If you want to be a student athlete, you're going to have to cut some of that out. And my parents have helped me with that. And yeah, I've just tried to stay disciplined, but time management is super important.
You don't spend any time on the phone?
Oh, I do for sure. I do. I cut some of it out.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, the prioritizing, right? And you do a good job of prioritizing your athletics, obviously, but more importantly, your academics. You've done a great job with that.
Thank you.
Well, Kody, you're a well-rounded athlete, growing up playing lots of sports, one of our most athletic guys around here. One of our best players on our basketball team, 14 points a game, a couple threes a game, few rebounds a game. As a well-rounded athlete, you focus just on basketball in high school for the most part. What has come the easiest to you on the basketball court?
The easiest, what I would consider like my bread and butter on the court, is the mid-range, which I worked on a lot sophomore and junior year. And then this summer I didn't work on it as much, but I started getting back into that. I'm trying to get to the mid-range again. So that's probably what's become the easiest for me on the court, is getting to the mid-range.
And what's been the most difficult thing, or the thing you've had to spend the most amount of time to improve upon?
Most difficult thing has just been consistency with the three-point shooting. Like last night, not a great three-point night. But then if you look back 2 weeks, I was on. So it's just the consistency has been the most difficult thing to achieve.
Yeah, coach has mentioned that, you sometimes guard the other teams, or many times guard the other team's best players. And that effort always is there, right? You might have a bad shooting night.
Right.
But, you're learning those lessons that, hey, if I have an off night here, I can always put forth the effort on the defensive end or something like that. And basketball is a game that teaches you about life lessons. So what has basketball taught you that's going to carry over to other aspects of your life?
One of the most important things I've learned from basketball is having like positive relationships with the people you're working with. Because I know I've played sports with other people, and I've had captains above me in other sports and other years who didn't always give like positive feedback and constructive criticism, but more so just flat out criticism. And so being on that side of it, when I'm working with people and when I'm being a leader, I try to maintain the positive aspect, and I think that could apply to working with anyone in anything.
That certainly is great advice for anyone in any area of our lives, to work well with others and be a leader. Your high school career, is there one shot that you've made that, or maybe missed, that sticks out in your varsity basketball career?
That is a tough question. Let's see. Recently, that's why it comes to mind, in the Palm Springs tournament. We did end up losing the game, but I had a shot with like 10 seconds to go. When we were down 4, I had a three-pointer that was pretty tough that I made and got us within 1, and kind of kept us in it for the last couple of seconds, even though we didn't end up pulling it out. So that's what comes to mind at the moment.
What's next for you next year? Are you playing college basketball, or are you just going to play men's league with me and Dr. Bolton?
Yeah, I'll play men's league with you and Dr. Bolton. Hopefully for your guys' sake, on your guys' team, because I don't know, I might have to get a team going with Aiden and Jack and smack you guys around a little bit.
We know how that went one night. Come on, Kody.
All right, yeah, you lit us up a little bit. But yeah, for college, I'm most likely considering San Diego State at the moment. I was thinking about playing basketball in college for most of my life up until kind of this year. I still obviously love basketball, but I've just kind of realized I want basketball to be my life throughout college as opposed to a hobby.
Yeah, you can always play the intramural ones, and a lot of those are super competitive too. And you can still have basketball there, but still enjoy the rest of the college experience as well. So. Well, at this point in time, we're going to give you some rapid fire questions. Okay. So again, just a few questions here. Don't overthink them or anything like that. Whatever comes to your mind quick. They're supposed to be a little bit on the fun side. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Have you ever played coach one-on-one?
No, luckily for him.
Who would win if you did?
I would.
Yeah. How bad?
If we're going to 11, I'll give him 6, 11-6.
11-6. All right. All right. I think Coach still got some game. I want to see that one. All right. Number 2.
All right.
Favorite song to get hyped up before a game?
No Complaints by Metro Boomin, the Migos, and Drake.
What's your favorite Cypress basketball moment?
Last night, Kassan catching a body against his old school.
Nice. I like it. What's the best advice Coach has given you?
The best advice Coach Mitchell has given me, he kind of brought it up earlier, the little things, because that'll make any team great.
Do you have a specific ritual or superstition that you use at the free throw line?
One dribble, spin the ball. Align the creases like straight, like perpendicular to my fingers.
Who's the school you love beating the most?
Los Al.
What's the best word to describe this year's team?
Tough.
Wakeboarding or wake surfing?
Wakeboarding.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks again, Coach Mitchell. Thank you. Kody, thank you as well. We wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we get the fan support still coming out and cheering you guys as you continue on. Thanks for being here again.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we'll be back next week with more athlete and coach interviews. Don't forget to share this on social media. Support our athletes, support our coaches. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see everyone next week.